Well, why small businesses fail. Something we don't like to talk about, do we? Okay, so here we go. We're talking about that today. Why small businesses fail and why so many fail in the first 18 months. Rich and Maikel here with Mainline Executive Coaching, ACT, action. Let's get going, leaders. Let's make things happen here. And ACT and cultural transformation. So leaders, business leaders, all kinds of leaders, you must act. And as a leader, you must have the courage to act and ask the hard questions for both creating greater success and also getting past our failures. So Utah is the fastest growing state that we're aware of in terms of business development and new businesses moving in. Today, we have the Director of Member Development for the Chamber of Commerce, Utah. Tim Roper is joining us. I think he's back with us now.
Yep.
Tim, with us?
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yeah, we can hear you now. You're back up.
Great.
Okay.
All good.
I apologize for that. Don't know what happened there. Gotta love technology, right?
You do, don't you? Technology is great. It's like cars until they stop working. Then it's the whole other thing.
Well,
So
thanks for having me here. I'm excited to be here.
we're grateful to have you here, actually. So Tim, get in the elevator with us and give us your 60-second me in 60 seconds elevator speech. Go
Would
ahead.
love to. First, just want to say thank you to both of you for having me on today. I'm really excited about this. I am the Director of Member Development for the Davis Chamber of Commerce. We represent our 15 cities here within the county. From a business standpoint here, it's my responsibility really, and just my passion, I love doing it, is helping our businesses make connections. Whether that's on a business level, making connections with our other businesses here within the county, or on the local government level. We have some great elected officials who serve our communities here. And also on a state level, we have a pretty strong legislative presence within our county who support our businesses here. And I also serve on the Clearfield City Council, so I get to see both sides of the business community, both from the chamber side and the government side of things. And I'm also the chair of the North Davis Fire District. So I get to have a lot of fun, keep busy, but I enjoy doing it. I love my whole life has just been making those connections with other people.
Wow, it's outstanding. Okay. Rich, you got something going here.
I do. One of the things, we're talking about why small businesses fail. And, there's actually a fairly grim statistic about that. Forbes reports, based on a Bloomberg study, that 8 out of 10 small businesses fell in the first 18 months. And they gave a number of reasons. There's a typical reasons: poor money management. You've tried to start a business that really didn't have any value for the area, or what, several different reasons why. But the number one reason they report that small businesses fail is leadership development, poor leadership. And the problem is you might have these people that really understand how to bring a business online, entrepreneurs or whatever, but they don't have the true leadership skills and management skills it takes to really keep that business alive, and even your employees keep that business alive and keep that leadership growing strong, building that culture. And so the number one reason it fails is leadership development. So Tim, you working with in the city council, and I'm sure you've seen businesses struggle, but what do you have to say about that? What have you seen?
I really do think it's in the leadership of it, and being just adaptable. I'm willing to just dive in and do the work. I've seen businesses, a lot of them that fell. One that I have in mind, we had a local restaurant come in and kind of set their business up a little bit off of our main street in our city. And within just a few months, we're gone. A lot of it was saying it was the location, or, a lot of other different reasons in there of what failed, but you never saw them dive in and get involved in the community and start to make those connections out there. I've always had this feeling that you need to build, I call it in sales, my virtual sales team, but just making those connections with people that are going to help you to be successful. You're only as good as the team around you, bringing in those experts. I think I developed it more as a young man, had a teacher tell me, always have your own board of directors. So as a youth, I even set up some people knew they were on it, some people didn't, but having this, people that I could go and collaborate with, consult with, share my ideas with. And I don't think that's a lot of what we do in today's world. We think we can just go it alone and we'll figure it out. A lot of these businesses, I think, dive into their passion, but they fail to realize there's a whole business component of this and not bringing in those people who can help them with that.
That's excellent. Tony Robbins talks about 14 reasons why businesses fail. And one of them you were just kind of touching on, I think, is this idea of doing it all yourself.
Yep.
Really, as you're talking, having a board of directors, having a team support, community, that kind of a thing. And sometimes we kind of get wrapped up in just thinking that we should, or we ought to, or we have to, or we're supposed to do it all ourselves. And that's probably a surefire formula for failure. And so what do we do instead? Tim, instead of doing that, what do we do?
I think a big, and to advocate for just chambers everywhere is come belong to your chamber, help build that community of businesses that will help you do that. We have a lot of tools at our disposal. Our chamber is lucky enough, we are here at the Davis Technical College and in the Entrepreneur Building here at the campus, and we can get you in line with those tools and things that can help you build your business. Whether it's education, there's a whole section here that can help even, find funding for you to help educate you or educate your employees with leadership and business, accounting. So, come join that chamber, support that community that we can jump in and help you with your business.
That's tremendous. That's a great idea. What else do you have, Rich?
You mentioned something, Tim, about you're only as good as the people who surround you. That's absolutely one of the critical components of leadership, and being able to develop that around you. And here's a problem: is there is no shortage of talent out there. Talent's everywhere. We talk about this a lot of time. It's the ones that have the heart to really dig in and help you with this. And one of the things that we've looked at, Michael, we've talked about this quite a bit, and help me unpack this a little bit. There's 75% of all business transformations, they just flat out fail. They fail, and the things that they fail to build a culture. They fail to understand how to transform their business. They fail to surround themselves, as Tim said, with the right people. And so, results in their decline, their failure, eventual extinction. And, Michael, you have been around and done this for a number of years, working with entrepreneurs and teaching, small businesses how to develop. What can you tell us about that?
Communication is one of the most important dynamics and activities that must happen in business. It's almost cliche. It's like, well, you got to communicate more. Here's the problem with it. Oftentimes the people in the top of the business really don't listen to the people that are online, the ones that are really in there in the trenches doing the business. So when they think of communication, they're thinking, why don't you just do what I tell you to do? That's their level of communication. It's kind of like loyalty. You need to be loyal to me. You understand? I'm writing the check and I'm paying you. But they don't often think about, how am I loyal to my people in business? So people, they need to understand that people that work in a business, those that are the everyday people, you might say, not leadership, there's a natural suspicion that they have about leadership. What are they doing? What's really going on? Are they thinking of us? Do they have us in mind when they make these decisions? Do they realize, you talked a little bit about this, Tim, when people make decisions, do they really realize how it's going to affect us? So there is this kind of sense of disconnection or suspicion that goes on. Leaders don't recognize that because they think you should just be loyal to me because I hired you, I gave you a job. No, leadership is a whole lot more than you've got to really actively reach out, called walking the floor. Just go and see how everybody's doing. Listen, how you doing today? How's your family? How's your wife? How's your, blah, blah, blah. You really know your people. That starts to letting them know that you care, that you're really interested in them. Leaders have to show that they care about their employees first. And that's a hard thing to do. But once you get that going, once that really starts happening, employees start saying, that's a really good guy. I'm really glad I work for her. She really listens, or he really cares. There's this whole other level of communication and relationship that starts taking place. That's where culture transformation takes place in its very, very best ways. But but leaders have got to kind of get off their sense of entitlement. That I'm invincible, that I'm always right. I don't make me embarrassed. Don't do anything that's going to upset me. Don't say the wrong word. That's a bunch of nonsense, because these people are the ones who are putting their time, their lives, their talents into making that business that you've got great. So it's an interesting dynamic. That's why they fail 75% of the time. And they don't even know why they failed. They just failed. Well, we tried that, didn't work. And you really need to have experts that come in and help you see. I'm going to tell you this, what it is. Leaders, if you're listening, listen clearly. The reason you are failing there are two things. Number one, you think you are something that you are not. You think you're something you are not. And the second thing is you have blind spots that you don't even recognize that are problems for you, and you don't even see that you don't even see it. Right. And that's where you need to have great people in your business who are willing to step up courageously, and you in turn be courageous to hear what it is they have to say. And oftentimes they can't do it because they're afraid. But see, that's where an executive coach comes in. Let me help you hear the things that you don't want to hear. Let me help you see the things you don't want to see. But also let me help you see the great things that are about you, maybe that you don't appreciate, that you don't realize the gifts that you're bringing here. You just take it for granted. So there's a whole conversation, there's a whole dynamic that goes on with you, the leader, your culture, and bringing in an executive coach that can just open that up and really help that business grow like you could never even begin to imagine.
Right. To me, it's really less about motivation. I've had, people talk, I need to motivate you. I've had, as I've worked for different bosses, but let me see your vision, communicate that vision to me. And if you're really headed in a great place, then I'm going to follow you. I'm going to dive behind you. And I get to do that with our president and CEO here on a daily basis. She has a vision and she communicates as well to her staff. And we're very willing to dive behind that and help support her with that vision to help grow what we want to accomplish here.
Outstanding.
Very good. There's one other, you talked about courage, Maikel, and, one of the things we talk about so much is that dreaded comfort zone. Now, most people start businesses because they're comfortable with that business they're starting. They have some knowledge there. But as that business starts to grow and all of a sudden you find yourself outside your comfort zone, which is really where the growth happens. But how do you manage yourself outside that comfort zone? What are you supposed to do outside your comfort zone? And again, Maikel brought up a very good point. That's where, coaching can come in and help you truly understand what goes on outside that comfort zone. The comfort zone's a killer. It's a career killer. It's a business killer. And just on the opposite side, if you don't know what to do when you get outside your comfort zone, it can be the same results. So, and having someone, like Tim mentioned, with a clear vision, and truly understanding how to disseminate that down. And Timmy gave a great example of the chamber CEO. They're the ones that are up here above the trenches. They see way out on the horizon. They see the vision, and it's their responsibility to disseminate that information down through the ranks. And so everybody sees the same vision. They're seeing what the CEO sees. So they're seeing what their leader sees. And they're excited about it, man. We're going this direction. What can we do to get us there? So a good coach can help you understand that, how to do that.
It's interesting because I see this more with the firefighters I work with. And I think we can learn a lot from them just on the business side of things. I had the opportunity to go on a structure fire one night and sit in the fire chief's truck and see how he commands that fire. And he's actually not right there in front of it. A lot of times he's down the street a little bit. So he has that clear picture there and is able to direct from four sides of that structure where people need to be there. And he has to be able to communicate very clearly where he needs them to be. He has lives on his hand. But he does that very clearly, concisely, gets them where they need to be. And I think we can learn that as leaders of getting our people where they actually need to be and communicating on their level, and not just, trying to share what's going on in their head, but, helping them really see this is what I need you to do and be down in the trenches with them.
That's a great point. We're going to wrap this up here in just a moment. Sometimes leaders get caught up in this notion of what I don't want. I don't want this. I don't want that. Don't. And that's both a trap for the comfort zone. It's also a trap that pulls them back in once they start leaving the comfort zone. It's the clarity, it's the specificity, it's the vision of what I do want, what we are going to do, what we do stand for, who we are. It's all those positives, because you can never do a negative. You can't do a don't. You can't do a can't. You can't do a I don't wanna. You can't do anything with that. I love, so you're talking about the fire chief. He's directing that this is what I want. This is where we need to go. This is what we're going to do. He's directing this is this and this and this. It's all forward motion communication with cooperation and teamwork. That's what great leaders do. All right. So, Tim, they want to get in touch with you and get involved in this great Chamber of Commerce. How do they do it, Tim?
You can go to our website, davischamberofcommerce.com. Google us. We'd love to grow the chamber here. My email, you can reach out to me directly, is just tim@davischamberofcommerce.com. Would love to meet with anybody and share the great things that we have going on here, because we're going to take this to the next level here in the next while. And it's exciting to be a part of it. I've always enjoyed just being a part of our community, and this allows me to share my passion with all of them.
That's great. I'm sure you do a great job. You're a great spokesman for them. Thank you so very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Right. Rich, take us home. Wrap it up.
All right. Once again, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. Hope you got something out of this. I know I did. There's a lot to learn every day. And so keep learning, keep listening. And if you have any comments, concerns, or something you just want to hear in an upcoming podcast, reach out to us, mbailey@intelligentleadershipec.com or rbarron@intelligentleadershipec.com, or you can reach out to the website richbarron.intelligentleadershipec.com. And once again, thank you for joining us. Take care and be safe. We'll talk to you soon.